Hi there everybody, early morning start here. We at the engine garage just on the N7. We're up on our way to Namibia. We're going to Botswana, Central Kalahari. What an amazing trip that lies ahead for us. We're all hitched up, all packed up. You can see both the two cars are here and we're ready for this. I cannot wait. Chat to you later. Cheers. Just had a fuel stop here at Ghanzi, last one in South Africa. Next stop will be the border. See you there. Right, it's the start of day 2. It's another early morning, actually earlier than yesterday, and although we did make it to the border, we didn't quite cross and we are departing from home again. So the rest of the group is already in Namibia, but we should be joining them today and catching up. Chat to you later. Finally, we've made it through the border. It took a bit longer than expected. Still had a few issues this morning as well that we didn't account for, but we are in Namibia and the trip can officially start now. Oh, I'm looking forward to the rest of the trip. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Join us on this epic adventure where we drive up through Namibia into Botswana, making our way to the Central Kalahari Game Reserve and the Moremi Game Reserve before turning back down to visit the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park and finally making our way back to Cape Town, all the way stopping along at some interesting places. After our passport antics of the first 2 days, we were well and truly underway and we were driving up from Ghanzi to Windhoek to the Trans Kalahari Inn. It was a drive of about 700 kilometers and soon we reached the gate of the lodge. Finally, we with the rest of the group, we've arrived here at Trans Kalahari Inn in Windhoek and now the holiday can truly begin. We spent the rest of the afternoon just relaxing and lounging around camp, as this would just be a stopover stop for us and we would be on our way again tomorrow. After having a great time at camp, we went to the bar area and enjoyed a cool drink and witnessed a beautiful sunset before making our way back to camp. And of course, once the sun set, it was time to light the fire and get ready for tonight's braai. The next morning we were up nice and early, got the tents pitched up and the trailers hitched, and got back on the road in the direction of Ghanzi. Today we were driving up to the town of Ghanzi. It's about 500 kilometers drive, all on tar roads, and we had the small matter of crossing the border between Namibia and Botswana as well. After about 2 hours drive, we neared the town of Ghanzi, where we had to stop to fix a wiring issue in the bakkies tow bar, and we decided it was a great time for breakfast as well. But it wasn't long before we were back on the road again, making our way to the Botswana border. Just here in Buitepos, and we are almost going to cross over into Botswana. Can't wait. Next stop will be Ghanzi, where we will prep for our stay in the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. Get all our stock and all our supplies, so that will be our stop and sleep spot for tonight. Check in with you later. And pretty soon we were at the border post itself, and we proceeded with the border post formalities. It was quite a confusing border post as they were busy with renovations and nothing was quite where you expected it to be, but we got through the border post without any issues and we were in Botswana. We continued further on our way to Ghanzi, just stopping here and there for a few animal crossings. This is always something you have to be watchful for when you are driving on Botswana's roads. And it wasn't long before we reached the town of Ghanzi, where we made our way to the Spar supermarket, where we picked up the meat that we pre-ordered from them, and it was nice and frozen and good meat that we got from them. And we got our last basic essentials, as from tomorrow onwards we will be in the Central Kalahari Game Reserve and off-grid for 4 nights. After we were finished with our shopping and filling up the cars with diesel, we made our way back out of town towards Palm Afrique Lodge, where we will be spending the night. From the tar road we had about another 5 or 6 kilometers to cover to the camp itself, and it was on a sandy track, but we enjoyed the driving. Pretty soon we arrived at the gate of the lodge, where we proceeded with the check-in formalities and setting up camp. Palm Afrique Lodge is a great place for a stopover if you are heading to or from the Central Kalahari Game Reserve, as we are doing on this trip. We made sure that we prepped everything for the next leg of our journey, and after we were finished with that and setting up camp, we had a good stroll about the lodge to see what it has to offer. On the premises there was a restaurant and bar area with a very inviting swimming pool, and you'll also see some antelope roam the camp and lodge area itself. But of course we will still do a full campsite review of Palm Afrique. And back at camp it was time to start the fire, have a great braai, and of course enjoy each other's conversation. We had another early start to the morning and we made our way back to the tar road, where we turned right and made our way up to Ghanzi. Today we were going to enter the Central Kalahari Game Reserve via the Tsau gate, and we had about 280 kilometers driving to do, with the last 160 of it being proper 4x4 tracks. and tonight we'll be spending at Passarge camp in the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. We got to witness an epic sunrise as we were making our way up the tar road past Ghanzi. After about 130 odd kilometers on the tar road, we reached the turn-off point that would lead us to the Central Kalahari itself. It's literally a few hundred meters before the veterinary post, so you are fine with meat. Here we turned off, stopped to deflate our tires, and then we got on one of the cut lines that would lead us to the Tsau gate, where we would enter into the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. From here on onwards, you do drive on 4x4 tracks, so rather stop and deflate your tires here and save you a lot of effort further down the line. And soon we were back on the road, driving on the cut lines towards Tsau gate. We visited in the dry season, so in terms of 4x4 driving and challenges in that regard, I would say the biggest challenge was a few sandy spots here and there, and a few spots where the tracks get a bit deep and you have a few holes left over from the rains, but otherwise not too bad. The tracks leading to and from the park, as well as the tracks in the park itself, are extremely corrugated, so just prepare yourself for that. And I can see that in the wet season this will become a mud bath and you will be in for some serious 4x4 driving. On the way to the gate we did see a bit of game. We saw a few antelope and giraffes roaming next to the road, and we also saw a caracal, but unfortunately it made its way into the bushes before I could get a photo of it. We pushed on forward until we reached the Tsau gate, where we entered into the park. We proceeded to check in at the gate. We could not pay our park fees at the Tsau gate, but as we exited through the Matswere gate, they allowed us to pay when we exited the park. We are at the Tsau gate. We've just entered through the Tsau gate. You can see it there behind me. All the cars are all lined up still. We are entering the CKGR. The adventure is about to begin. So excited, cannot wait. Let's see what it has in store for us. After we finished checking in at the gate, we continued along the tracks towards Passarge. In our original planning, we were going to stay over at Mutopi campsite just inside the park, but as we missed a day early in the trip, we had to push on straight through to Passarge campsite. It was clear to see the impact of the incredible rain season Botswana had in the past year, and the veld was lush and thick, and the grass at some parts was almost as high as the car, if not higher than the car. So we realized game viewing on this trip might be a bit tricky, but still seeing the bush like this is absolutely incredible. On our way we stopped at one of the waterholes along the way to see if we could spot some game, but as it was quite quiet we pushed on further into the Passarge valley. On our way to the camp we did spot a bit of wildlife roaming the plains. And pretty soon we reached the turn off to our campsite. We were staying in Passarge Camp 2, and it was a few hundred meters drive until we reached the campsite itself. We got the cars parked and started pitching up camp. Just remember, the campsites in the Central Kalahari Game Reserve is all wild camping, and you might get a wild visitor or two at night. It's been a long day's driving, but we've arrived here at Passarge campsite number 2. In the distance I can see some gemsbok and some giraffes. The grass is long. Obviously it's been a great rain year for Botswana, so it's tough seeing wildlife. It's really tough seeing wildlife. It's almost impossible seeing wildlife. But yeah, we've driven up from Ghanzi. The road's not in the best condition. Very corrugated. Bit sandy, and I won't say it's tricky, it's just very corrugated and bad. But yeah, we're going to enjoy it, and we look forward to our time here. Camp set up in the background, so that's all great. Chat to you guys later. We got the fire started and experienced an amazing African sunset before it was time to gather around the fire for tonight's braai, enjoy a great dinner and crawl in for the night. Everyone got up at their own pace this morning, and we decided that after a few days of hard driving, we would have a nice, relaxing, chill day at camp. For brunch we made some flapjacks, and everyone just had a nice, relaxing day at camp. We fixed what needed to be fixed and got everything ready for the rest of our trip. As I mentioned earlier, all the camps in the CKGR are off-grid and is in essence wild camping, so you'll need to bring everything you need to survive your stay. Our campsite had 2 ablution areas, one with a long drop and one with a bucket that you can hoist up to shower in, and of course if you need batteries charged, you'll need to pack in those solar panels. A few of us went out for a drive the afternoon, but there was not much to report. So last night here at Passarge campsite, we had a great peaceful time here. We had a drive about, but yeah, saw a lot of oryxes and springbok. The grass quite tall. Tough to do some game viewing, but truly enjoyed it. Truly enjoyed the peacefulness, really enjoyed it. As you can see here behind me, the sun is starting to set. We've got the fire going. We're going to have a great braai tonight and have a nice sleep, and then tomorrow we move on to Sunday's pan. After experiencing yet another breathtaking African sunset, it was time to get the fire going and enjoy our last braai at Passarge campsite. It's truly always a special experience spending time in nature, and every time I go back I just appreciate it more and more. After the braai we packed everything away and climbed into bed for the night.